how I came to Yiddish. Through German, so I was then fluent in German after 2 years in Germany. But that wasn't the only thing that happened in Germany. I'm always very uncomfortable in Germany. And I never thought it was because of the history, but maybe it was. Maybe I denied it to myself. And I tried to live there. And I even went there last summer for 2 months with a grant. What happened was that teacher, Tugendhat, who was a friend of Teunissen, I went to their classes in Berlin. Tugendhat was a Jew. Very rare case of a German Jewish, he wasn't really German, he was Czech Jewish professor in Germany in 1980. He was a great professor, great philosopher, and a nice guy. He even had me to his house. I think I and my roommate had him over for dinner, and he had us over. He was single, and he was available in a certain way. He didn't have the distance that was typical of the German professor, Herr Doktor, right? Herr Professor Doktor. And then I moved in with this, in the second year with another philosophy student whom I had met. He had a small room, which was really the maid's room of an old Berlin apartment. Beautiful, amazing apartment. It had in it a huge studio for art studio. And there was the third inhabitant was Frank Deike, I think was his name, a German painter who drove taxi cab at night and painted during the day. And so we had this, that's because I had moved in with Marcus Otto, whose father was an artist and had lived in that apartment, but had moved to West Germany. At that time, Berlin was, it was an island. West Berlin was just West Berlin, and to get there, you had to drive across East Germany, and it was very nasty. In fact, that was an experience of fascism, basically. I mean, they called them red-coated, red-colored fascists. I experienced, that's the closest I came to experiencing being a Jew on the run, crossing the border, I guess into Berlin. I was driving with some German woman in a Volkswagen Bug, and there was some issue about my passport. I thought, I don't know, anyway, I really felt how German society can exclude and destroy. Anyway, but I lived another year in Berlin. And what I realized, so in the second year in Berlin, I couldn't take the Germans anymore, really, so I started learning Spanish. But as I left, and I went to Spain, actually, I spent a couple months in Spain in a language class when I left. Went through Budapest, went through East Germany, Budapest, Spain, and I realized the only two people I got close to in the whole time was Tugendhat, who was Jewish, and the girlfriend of Marcus Otto, who's now a psychoanalyst in Berlin, Adriana Behar-Kremel. Great woman, also incredibly friendly. Those are the only two friendly people, practically. And still to this day, I don't know if I've ever been invited to anyone's house in Germany. I've lived there for years for a meal. It's not a very open society unless you're part of it. So when I left, I realized the Jews were missing, obviously. I mean, how did I neglect to see that? The only two people who were friendly to me, basically, were Jews. And there were no Jews in Berlin, basically, at that time. They came later, the Soviet Jews, when they were let out in the 90s, and I saw them coming in when I was back in Berlin. In the 90s, a lot of Jews from the former Soviet Union went in. But there were no Jews. So that's how I came to Yiddish. You may be surprised. Through its opposite, sort of Hegelian dialectical thesis, antithesis, synthesis. I went through Germany and experienced the lack of Jews. What it is for there to be a Germany, great German culture. That's why I went there. Great German philosophy, music, art, literature. Great German civilization without the Jews. It's like hollowed out. And where are we?